Now to the other big story. Breaking news today. Embattled Seattle Mayor Ed Murray will not run for re-election in the fall. King 5's Chris Daniels joins us from Alki, where Murray held a press conference this morning. And Chris, Murray today announced the end of his political career, where it began decades ago.
Yeah, here in West Seattle at the Alki Bathhouse, Murray laid out his nearly 3-decade-long political career before announcing that it would come to an abrupt end later on this year. He was surrounded by his cabinet and supporters, some of whom wiped away tears as Murray made his statement.
The allegations against me paint me in the worst possible historic portraits of a gay man. The allegations against me are not true, and I say this with all honesty and with the deepest sincerity. But the scandal surrounding them and me is hurting this city. It hurts those who have been victims of abuse. It hurts my family. It hurts Michael. For these reasons, I'm announcing that I am withdrawing as a candidate for mayor.
Michael is Murray's longtime husband, and of course, if you've been following this story, all of this comes as the mayor faces a lawsuit alleging that Murray molested a man as a young boy several decades ago, and 3 other men have also stepped forward to repeat similar allegations. And it seems like in the last few weeks, Murray's response to the allegations, rather than the allegations themselves, have garnered the most criticism. I had a chance to talk with former Seattle Mayor Charlie Royer about the allegations and the statement today. He calls himself a Murray supporter. Here's what he had to say.
I can't believe the pressure that has just slid off this guy's shoulders with that announcement today. And I know he's sad, but he's got a strong family, and a lot of people are supporting him, and a lot of people believe him. There are people in this city, I hate to say this, but there are people in this city who don't like gay people, just per se. And this is going to be a street fight about being gay. And it's just not going to be good for the city if he's in it and not paying attention to the mayor's. I think it's the best thing he could do.
And a lot of Murray supporters did say today they believe this was a good decision by Murray to put his interests aside in the interests of the city. I also asked Royer, who served a few terms in the city of Seattle, what this means for legislation going forward. There are several big ticket items in front of the mayor and the council. He said when he knew he was going into his last term and his last days in office, it actually made it easier to govern and get things done. That will be a story here going forward in the next several months. More to come on this story throughout the day, but for now, live in West Seattle, Chris Daniels, King 5 News.
All right, Chris, thank you. So, as you can imagine, big day in Seattle. A lot of reaction coming in now from city leaders this noon hour. King 5's Alex Rozier joins us from outside City Hall. Alex.
Yeah, Mark, as you would expect, this story is really the talk of City Hall, but at this point, it is a story that few people want to comment on publicly. We did, however, just hear from Councilman member Tim Burgess. Now, Tim has been a longtime ally of the mayor. He stood behind Ed Murray today at his press conference, and here's what he had to say about the announcement.
I look back over the last 4 years, and he's been an incredibly bold and courageous leader for our city. And I think he's being a very courageous leader now. And he's putting the people of Seattle first, and I applaud him for that. But this has got to be a tough time for him and his family and those of us who've stood with him for the last 4 years.
Now, we did just receive this statement from Council Member Lisa Herbold. She said, quote, "I've come to know the mayor as a person who doesn't back away from a political challenge. His decision today tells me that in his assessment of the political challenge before him was one in which he would not prevail. I think that it's best for the city that, moving forward, questions about his guilt or innocence and the character of his accusers are reserved for a court of law, where a judge determines their admissibility." Again, that's Council Member Lisa Herbold. It has been an interesting morning here at City Hall. We were here just before 9 a.m. when dozens of mayoral staffers showed up for a meeting here at City Hall. Minutes after that ended, friends and supporters then took off for West Seattle. We were in the council chambers, though, with 3 council members in the minutes leading up to Ed Murray's announcement this morning. Kshama Sawant, Lisa Herbold, and Mike O'Brien all left the chambers with no comment about this story. As we come back out live, it is a historic day at City Hall as Ed Murray announces he will not be running for re-election. We are continuing to gather reaction to this story, and we'll bring it to you as we have it. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, King 5 News.
All right, Alex, thanks for the latest there from City Hall. Meantime, 2 more candidates are now jumping into the race for Seattle mayor. State Senator Bob Hasegawa is expected to formally announce his candidacy. Senator Hasegawa represents the Beacon Hill area in the state legislature. He says he's making public housing a top priority.
As one of the most prosperous cities in the country, it's a disgrace to have the homeless problem that we have. So there's no conversation at all around public housing. It's all around affordable housing. The city can start building housing again.
Senator Hasegawa says he also favors a proposed city income tax for high-income earners, something the current mayor supports. A TV journalist, Michael Harris, declared his candidacy last night. Harris is a documentary and network television producer for ABC News. He's also served as executive director of the Pacific Whale Watch Association. Harris wants to take on education, environmental issues, economic development, and the homelessness problem. He says he'll do it without raising taxes.